Hello friends, welcome to Finance MCQ channel. I am CMA Akula Sridhar, and friends, in today's video we will cover provisions related to audit and auditors as specified under chapter 10 of Companies Act 2013, which is an important part of your technical syllabus. Friends, this technical syllabus includes subjects such as costing, then commerce and accountancy, management, finance, Companies Act and economics. And friends, this technical syllabus is very important for your selection as it covers 100 marks in phase 1 and is also having 2/3 weightage in phase 2 of your SEBI Grade A officer exam. So let's begin. So friends, first we'll study the eligibility and qualification of auditors as provided under section 141 of the Companies Act. So friends, remember that a person shall be eligible for appointment as an auditor only if he is a chartered accountant within the meaning of Chartered Accountants Act 1949 holding a valid certificate of practice. And friends, remember that even a firm can also be appointed as an auditor if it satisfies two conditions. First is that the majority of the partners should be practicing in India, and friends, these majority of partners should be qualified for appointment as an auditor. That means these majority of partners should be chartered accountants. And friends, if a firm is appointed as an auditor, then only the partners who are chartered accountants shall be authorized to act and sign on behalf of the firm. And moving on, let's study the provisions related to appointment of first auditor in case of non-government company as given under section 139 subsection 6. So friends, remember that the first auditor of a company will be appointed by board within 30 days of registration. And friends, if the board is unable to appoint, so it will inform the members of the company, and in that case the members shall appoint the first auditor of the company within 90 days by calling an extraordinary general meeting. And friends, as far as the tenure is considered, this first auditor will hold the office of auditorship till the conclusion of first annual general meeting. Moving on, friends, next we'll study the appointment of first auditor in case of government company as given under section 139 subsection 7. So friends, here government company includes company owned or controlled by central government or state government or a combination of both the government. So friends, here the first auditor will be appointed by CAG within 60 days of registration of the company. And friends, if CAG fails to do so, the board of directors will appoint it within next 30 days. And friends, even when board of directors is also not able to appoint the auditor, it will inform the members, and in that case the members shall appoint the first auditor within 60 days after being informed by calling at an extraordinary general meeting. And friends, here also the tenure of the first auditor will be the conclusion of first AGM. So friends, if we summarize these provisions, so remember that in case of non-government company, the board will appoint in 30 days. If the board is unable, then members will appoint it in next 90 days. And friend, in case of government company, the CAG will appoint the auditor of the company in 60 days. If CAG fails, then board will appoint the auditor within next 30 days. And friend, if board also fails, it will inform the members who shall appoint the auditor of the company by next 60 days after being informed. Moving on now, friends, let's study the provisions related to appointment of subsequent auditors in case of non-government company. Friends, subsequent auditors will hold the office from first AGM till the conclusion of 6th AGM. So that means the auditor will hold the office for 5 years. Moving on, as far as the procedural part is considered, the company will have to intimate the auditor about his appointment and will obtain a written consent and certificate in accordance with the conditions prescribed in section 141. So friends, section 41 we have already studied, which deals with the qualifications of auditors. And friends, the company will also file a notice of such appointment with the registrar within 15 days of the meeting in which the auditor is appointed. Now friends, in case of listed companies, there are some special provisions. So friends, remember that in case of listed companies, an individual, if he is appointed as an auditor, he will hold the office of the auditor for one term of 5 years. And friends, if a firm is appointed as an auditor, it shall hold the office for 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. So friends, for individual the limit is 5 years, and for audit firm it is 10 years, that is of 2 terms. And friends, audit firm having common partner to the old audit firm of the company will not be eligible for appointment. Like suppose for example friends, if there are 2 audit firms like firm A and firm B, and if firm A is appointed as an auditor of a company and Mr. Rajesh, who is a partner in firm A, so remember that once the firm A completes its tenure of 2 terms of 5 consecutive years, even firm B will not be qualified for appointment as an auditor since Mr. Rajesh is a partner in both the firms. Moving on. Now friends, let's study the provisions related to appointment of subsequent auditor in case of government company. So friends, here it is quite simple. So remember that in case of government company, the CAG will appoint the subsequent auditor within 180 days from commencement of every financial year. So friends, as far as the tenure of subsequent auditor is considered, he shall hold the office till the conclusion of annual general meeting. So friends, in case of government company, the auditor will be appointed every year. Now friends, let's move on and study the provisions related to appointment of auditor in case of casual vacancy in a non-government company. So friends, casual vacancy is caused due to death, resignation or disqualification of an auditor. So friends, in case the casual vacancy is caused due to resignation of an auditor, it shall be filled by Board of Directors within 30 days. And friends, this appointment by Board of Directors should be approved by shareholders in general meeting convened within 3 months. And friends, this general meeting can be an extraordinary general meeting or a normal annual general meeting. Moving on. And friends, this auditor who is appointed in case of an casual vacancy will hold the office till the conclusion of next annual general meeting. And friends, where the casual vacancy is arising due to other reasons like in case of death or disqualification, then in that case the vacancy will be filled by board within 30 days. Moving on. Now friends, in case of appointment of auditor of casual vacancy in case of government company, it shall be filled by CAG within 30 days. And if CAG is unable to fill the vacancy within the time of 30 days, then Board of Directors shall fill the vacancy within next 30 days. Now friends, let's move on and study the provisions related to removal, resignation of auditor and the provisions related to giving of special notice as given under section 140. So friends, remember that an auditor can be removed from his office before the expiry of his term by passing a special resolution of the company. And friend, apart from passing a special resolution, even previous approval of central government is also required to remove an auditor. And friends, remember that no auditor can be removed under this subsection unless the auditor is given a reasonable opportunity of being heard. And friends, further, the auditor will have to file a statement within 30 days of his resignation. And friends, this statement will indicate the reasons and other facts as may be relevant with regard to his resignation. And friends, in case of non-government companies, this statement shall be filed with registrar, while in case of government companies, this statement by the auditor will have to be filed with CAG of India. And friends, there is a provision of penalty in case the auditor does not comply with this provision. Friends, the auditor, if he does not comply, he will be punishable with a fine that the minimum amount is 50,000, and friends, this amount of fine can be extended up to rupees 5 lakh. Now friends, section 140 further speaks about giving of special notice. Now friends, if suppose some other person or a firm is being appointed, in case of an existing auditor, a special notice is required to be served at the annual general meeting where the auditor is being changed. So friends, however, there is an exception, suppose where the retiring auditor has completed his stipulated term. So friends, we know that for individual, the stipulated term is 5 years, while in case of firm, the stipulated term is of 10 years, that is 2 terms of 5 years each. And friends, a copy of notice of such resolution will also be forwarded to the retiring partner. And friends, in case if a written representation is received from the auditor and is received timely by the company, in that case the company will not only send a copy of the representation to the member but will also file a copy of such representation in the notice of the special resolution where the auditor is being changed. And friend, further, suppose if the copy of representation is not sent as aforesaid because either if it is received too late or because of the company's default, then in that case the auditor may require the company to read out the representation in the meeting. And friends, the auditor may also ask the company to file a copy of such representation with the registrar. And friends, however, if the tribunal is satisfied on an application either of the company or of an aggrieved person that the auditor has abused his rights conferred to the auditor under this act, then friend, the tribunal may ask the company to not read out the representation or neither the filing of the statement with the registrar. So friends, we will continue with this topic tomorrow. Friends, for more practice of MCQs on this topic, please visit financemcq.in, where the entire SEBI grade exam technical syllabus is covered in MCQ format. Friends, here 2000 plus subject wise, topic wise MCQ questions are presented for you to practice. Friends, explanation are also added for correct answers wherever required. So friends, apart from this, there are 25 test series covering the technical syllabus for more and more practice. So friends, do visit financemcq.in and practice your technical syllabus well. And friends, don't forget that this technical syllabus is having 100 marks in phase 1 and is also having 2/3 weightage in phase 2 of your SEBI grade exam. So friends, this technical syllabus is very important for your selection. So friends, that's all for today. We will go through some more insight into the topic tomorrow. Till then, thank you very much for watching. Take care and goodbye. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe.